Just finished our night hike. Hopefully I got some really cool photos. A lot of them look like they turned out. It's now after 4 a.m. The sun's already rising, as you can see. And we're gonna head home. I am very exhausted. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, I don't even know what day it is. June 22nd. Today's gonna be a busy day for me. It's my friend Kimmy's birthday, so we're gonna go to her party. We're going up towards Bellevue to some of her family. They have a house on Lake Washington up there. So we're gonna be up there for a few hours, and then we're gonna try to be home between 8 and 9 o'clock because tonight we are doing a midnight hike up at Mount Rainier National Park. We're planning on leaving here sometime between 10 and 11 p.m. and heading up probably to the sunrise side of the mountain. Haven't been up there yet this year. And we're just gonna go hit the trails, go as far as we want to go at night, and then we're gonna set up, take pictures of the stars, and just enjoy the time out there. Alright, we're about to head towards Rainier. I have been packing. I got a brand new backpack for hiking. This will be my first day trying this one out. No, Maisie, don't run. It's big enough to pack the tripod and everything, so I don't have to carry stuff anymore. Just finished our night hike. Hopefully I got some really cool photos. A lot of them look like they turned out. It's now after 4 a.m. The sun's already rising, as you can see. And we're gonna head home. I am very exhausted. I don't know if you can see Mount Rainier. Hopefully you can with this.
I can still see Venus.
I think it's bright enough. Yeah, you see Venus aligned right with the lodge here. Good morning. So the other day I went on a midnight hike up at Mount Rainier National Park, and I only filmed a little bit on the way back because of course it was too dark to actually film any video on the hike. But we went up to the sunrise side of Mount Rainier to go look at the stars, and I went to go get some star astrophotography and stuff. And we got there just after midnight, probably like 12:05 or something. And we pulled into the visitor center parking lot, and it was like completely full, and we had never seen that before at night. We went hiking last year in August, and there was like no one there. It was just empty, quiet. There were just a few people in the parking lot, but it was just empty. So we're like, alright, it's really crowded, and that's really unusual, but alright then. I don't know where all these people are. Hopefully they're on the trail. So we get all of our bags on. Like, this is my hiking bag, of course it's usually full with stuff. So we got all of our bags on, and we start heading up the trail. You know, we strapped the headlamps to our heads, and we have our big lights that we also used on half power. Oh wow, my lens is dirty. So we used these on half power, kind of strapped to our chest. I kind of had mine like that. As we were walking up the trail, and I didn't expect it. Looking up, you just saw a few of like the red lights from people on their headlamps. But as we were walking up the trail, there were hundreds of photographers with their tripods in the meadow, and they were all just aimed right towards Mount Rainier, taking photos. And like I said, hundreds of them blocking the trail. And so as we were walking up, we had our hiking poles, and we're going up the trail pretty quickly because that's what we were there for, was to hike. And we're going up the trail pretty quickly, and pretty much every photographer just turned around and stared at the four of us coming up the hill. almost like glaring at us because we had a few lights on, probably ruined some of their photos, but they were just glaring at us, you know, like they just wanted us not to be there. So here, I'm going to go on a rant for a second. Photographers versus hikers. Photographers usually sit near the parking lot. In this case at sunrise, they all went up just the first part of the trail, and they block the trail so that people who are hiking can't go up, which is what the trail's sole purpose is that people can walk and hike up, not so you can sit there, hundreds of you, and block the trail. So they were all glaring at us, didn't want us to be there, wanted us to turn off their lights, and I understand. As you know, I do YouTube, I do photography. I understand a little bit of light is going to ruin your shots. I understand how annoying it can be to have people moving past your tripods and stuff. But when you have your tripod on the trail, hundreds of you, and you're glaring at hikers who are using the trail for what the trail was made for, I don't agree with that, and you may have to adjust your attitude up there on that mountain, because those trails are made for hikers, not for you to come up and take your photos. And this isn't the first time we've encountered a problem like that. We set up on a hike last year on the Paradise side of Mount Rainier, and we had our lights on because we couldn't see where we were walking. So we had all of our lights on so that we could navigate around the visitor center and figure out where the trailhead is. And people were screaming at us to turn off our lights. Screaming at us and trying to get in a fight with us because we were trying to find the trail and they wanted to get their pictures of the meteor shower. You know, I am terribly sorry that we ruined your photos. Same with sunrise, everyone glaring and staring at us. Like, I am sorry that we are hiking because that's what the trail is made for while you're trying to take a photo. You can take another photo. But you know, if we fall down because we can't see the trail and roll an ankle or break our leg or fall off a cliff or something, that's not so easy to just take another photo. You know, where our leg, I mean, what if we have to be carried off the trail, you know, and then taken all the way down the mountain to the hospital or something. So just from those terms, I'm sorry photographers, but you don't have the right of way in these situations. You have to move out of the way for hikers. You have to be courteous, and most of the people I see up at Mount Rainier are not courteous to hikers using the trail for what they are made for. So we will end this rant now. I really do want to spread positivity on my channel and not rant and do that kind of stuff very often, but it's just something that happens every year, all the time at Mount Rainier and other places, and I just want to get it off my chest. As a videographer, as a YouTuber, as a photographer who completely understands both sides, but I'm a hiker first, and it is just incredibly rude, all these people that take up the trail like that and act like we're the ones at fault when we're just trying to get up past them all. Anyway, we headed up the trail. We decided to do the hike to First Burrows on the Burrows Mountain Trail because that's where we went last year, and the mountain just looked incredible from up there, and there was no one around. Take out a handy dandy Mount Rainier map here. So here's map of Mount Rainier. So from the Sunrise Visitor Center, this is where everyone was lined up on the trail. Was pretty much right on this little stretch of the trail right there. So to get away from all the people, and because we did go for a hike primarily, not really to go get photos, primarily to hike, we decided that we would go all the way to First Burrows, which is past Frozen Lake, past where the Wonderland Trail intersects, and it's like somewhere over in here. It kind of heads up to the top of that mountain right there. So we decided to take pictures of the mountain from about there, hang out. If we'd been in the mood for more hiking, like if there's still snow on the ground, as we were heading up the slopes, it was still snowed in. If we had not been so tired, all of us weren't really feeling hiking more, we probably would have went all the way to Third Burrows, over at the end here. I heard that a lot of other people went over to Fremont, but most of them were just lined up right along here instead of coming out the trail a little more towards the mountain. But it was nice. We got away from all the people. We only saw, when we actually started up the Burrows Mountain Trail, we only saw one other person, and he was a photographer. He was carrying his tripod down, no poles, coming down really slowly through the snow on the slopes there, which is very dangerous to do without any poles, and I don't think he even had a backpack on. You know, just if you're going out on the trail, make sure that you at least bring a bag with like first aid supplies and stuff like that, and you know, some poles, because it's a lot harder to navigate through snow without any supports, especially when he was carrying his tripod over his shoulder. I managed to get some photos of the Milky Way, which I will throw here on this video. I'm not that pleased with them. I did shoot them all with an aperture of 3.5, although I think some of them were taken with an aperture of 4.5, which isn't ideal. You really want to get down to your 2.8s and stuff like that, but my lens here isn't capable of that. It is a wide-angle lens, but its primary use, I would say, as a USM lens is for video, just like this for vlogging. It's really fast at autofocus, finding faces, and you know, just like that, it's good for vlogging, which is why I bought it. It's better than a regular lens that I used last year for capturing the Milky Way, but it's just not an astrophotography lens. I may have to get a lower aperture lens because you really do want a maximum aperture of 2.8 or 1.8 or something, and not, I think most of my photos, like I said, were with a 4 or a 4.5, and that's just not ideal. Most of my photos were just a little too noisy. They captured a ton of stars, a ton of colors, and I'm really happy about that. I even got the northern lights at one point, even though you couldn't see it with the naked eye, so that was really cool. But it's just so grainy looking, so noisy, and if I had been able to lower the ISO and have the aperture a little lower, then the photos would be clearer, but I couldn't go any lower with the aperture, so I had to compensate with a higher ISO. That being said, I did try to keep it at 3200 and not get up to 6400 very much, because I tried to reduce as much noise as possible. But I'm not too happy how it turned out. I'll have to see how to get the best photos possible with this lens, or get a better lens for astrophotography.